All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Grow Family Network. And today I wanted to come out and just talk for a little bit. It's really cold. It's really cold, but the sun is so bright, so I barely can see. I don't even want to show it. If I look that way, I really can't see when I focus back on the camera. So this morning, I was bringing my children to school. And I know before you start saying, "Oh, why you bringing your children?" So Fluffy's out here with me, and he's going to chase the birds. Why you bringing your children to those indoctrination camps? Well, I read John 17 some time ago. It was a prayer that Jesus prayed before his crucifixion, and one of the verses, he said, "Father, I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them while they are in the world." And he was talking about his disciples. And running from things, running from people doesn't always solve the problem. So I don't want to take my children out of the things of the world, out of these school systems. I don't think it's a huge need for it for me, and that's a personal thing. And I just pray that, that the Lord keep them while they're in those things. Like he kept me when I was in public school, and I didn't turn out nowhere near as the way the people are today. So I think it's more so a prayer thing. But getting back, while I was backing out of the driveway, I was telling my kids how bright the sun was today. And so I said, the sun is so bright. I say it's blinding. And so when my daughter and my son saw it, my son said, "But yeah, Dad, but the moon isn't here." Then my daughter answered, she said, "It's because it's not night." And so I replied, I said, "Well, it's still there." And when I said that, I feel that God started talking to me. And he said, the sun never moves. It's the world that moves. It's the world that comes back to the sun and goes away from the sun. It's the world that revolves. It's not actually the sun that does it. And so I was driving him to school. He was just talking to me, saying, it's you people. It's you people that you're seasonal. One season, a few years, y'all love the truth. Diversity and equality and freedom and all of this, y'all. And then you just revolve right back around to tyranny, oppression, and slavery. And then when you get tired of that, you're going to revolve back around to protest, to revolts, to revolution, to freedom. And then you get tired of that, and then you revolve right back around to tyranny, oppression, slavery. I was like, wow. This is the way the world has been since forever, since we look in the history books. This is the way the world has been. You look at the Bible in the Bible days. Israel, when they came out of Egypt, they didn't have a king, nobody over them. Moses was a leader, but the people was doing their own thing. They just had laws that they had to follow as they interact with their neighbors. But they didn't have rulership. But then somewhere around the time of Saul and David, they started wanting a king. We want a king like everybody else. We want to be ruled. And God said, you tell those people, you tell them that if they get a king, he's going to tax them. He's going to put a burdensome laws on them. That's what's going to happen. And the people still said, we don't care. We're tired of living this way. Give us a king. We just constantly revolving right back around, right back around, right back around. I was listening at a speech this lady named Tricia Lindsay. And in my mind, I was like, we're back in the 60s. How is it 2022? People are still having to make freedom speeches. We're still having to do freedom marches. We're back in the 60s. We've revolved right back to that Birmingham Bridge. That's what you're seeing in Canada. You're seeing the Birmingham Bridge. People that just saying, we're not going to take it anymore. How have we regressed? But we haven't regressed. We've just spun around. But one thing that remains constant is the sun. The sun hasn't moved. God says, I haven't moved. The truth hasn't moved. Love one another. Treat each other the way you would want to be treated. Those principles have never changed. Throughout all of time, those principles have never changed. It's you and I. It's the world that rotates. We come to God for a little while. We bask in the sun. We use his sun for the warmth. We use his love for the warmth of it. We love the way it feels when neighbors are helping neighbors. But then for some reason we get tired of that and we turn our backs. Then neighbors go to fighting one another. I think that's why it's so easy to prophesy. Because all prophecy is telling us is that there's going to come a time where mothers are going to fight against daughters, fathers against sons. There's going to come a time where you're going to hear wars and rumors of wars. No matter how much peace you get in this world, there's going to come a time where all you're going to see, people are going to get tired of peace. Think about it. If it's so peaceful, what is there to do? Man, we gotta, hey, they just said something I don't like. And there you go, a war. God is saying that my love is blinded. My truth is blinded. If you turn to me, it can't help but be day. If you turn to me, you can't help but receive light. But when you turn away from me, that's when your world darkens. So as we move further towards science and further away from God, the darker it's going to get. And you might think this is a religious thing. This is not a religious video. This is a nature video because I'm out here. You look at these plants, these trees. In Genesis, he said, I'm going to give you these trees. I'm going to give you these herbs. And I want you to eat this. Man has grown tired of this stuff. He wants to make his own. He wants to make fake fruit. He wants to make fake meat. He wants to make fake everything. When we move away from what God has established, when we go to cut down all the trees, and we're not planting trees, we're not planting fruit trees, well, when you walk away from the light, you get nothing but darkness. The beauty of that is that the light is still there. The light never leaves. The light doesn't leave you. The light stands still. These things will always be here. These trees, these seeds, it may be harder to find, but they'll be there if you would only just turn back around. If we would not trust the science as much, you would come back to God. You would come back to nature. We're leaving a time where man has always looked to nature. You look through the Egyptian times where technology isn't new. Man's mind is what's turning. There's no way they could study the stars. Think about right now, I can look up at the sky, I can't see a thing. If the Egyptians did not have the technology to study the stars, then how did they study them? They've had the technology. So it's not the technology. It's man. He's went from looking at the stars, from looking at the way the weather is changing, noticing those subtle changes and adapting to them, to where now he wants to make his own weather. He wants to do it himself. He wants to trust science more than nature. Well, what happens is when you start messing with too much technology, too much science, man doesn't realize that he's not as strong as nature. Nature will always win. Nature has won for millions of years. Nature will wipe you out before you wipe it out. So when you keep messing with things, turning away from the way things are naturally set up and ordered, well, then you're going into the darkness. And that's what science is today. I wish I could say science was here to help us, but it looks like the more science helps us, the more it dooms us to the darkness. The more science helps us, the more we rely less on the natural light, on the light that was given to us, on God. The more we walk away from the established order, the worse our lives get. The more we look to money, all people want to do is make money, make money, make money, make money, overtime, 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 overtime. And you would ask them, well, what are you doing with that overtime? I'm trying to buy me a truck. What? You're not investing that money into your own land, getting land, putting trees that can feed you for the rest of your life? You're trying to buy a boat, not to go fish. They're trying to buy a boat to go riding around in the Gulf, just doing crazy. We do crazy things. But God is saying, I'm still here. Whenever you get your mind right, whenever you stop buying new drapes every year, whenever you stop having to get a new car every year, whenever you stop doing all of the things, having to, you throw out all the clothes that's in your closet so you can go, oh, I got to get a new wardrobe, and you go buy all new clothes again. Whenever you stop that, God is saying, look, I'm still right here. You still can go buy some trees. You still can start a garden. You still can come out here and witness and learn from what I have established. The world is a classroom. Just sitting here, and I'm looking out into all these trees, and I'm watching how the squirrels and the birds react, how they respect each other's spaces, and then somebody doesn't respect, the squirrel doesn't respect the bird's space, and the bird runs the squirrel off. I just watch these things. And that's how I learn. That's how I have learned. But there's going to come a time where men will not want to learn from what they see. They'll only want to believe what somebody tells them. Well, my friends, that's the darkness. That's the darkness when you hear somebody keep saying, they said, well, they said. When you turn away from your own intuition, and then you want to blame somebody else. Well, I wouldn't have believed that if he wouldn't have said it. He's a scientist. I'm not a scientist. What do I know about it? Yes, you can make an opinion on science. Science is never 100% factual. Science changes every day. You can't make a scientific opinion, just like anybody can. But you short yourself. And when you short yourself, you just turn to the darkness. When you hear the light, you see the light. You know where the light is. But yet, just like the world, you turn away from it. The light is there. Even though you turn away from it, the light is there. So when you come back around, and then you're like, why did I ever turn away from the light? I don't know. That's just the way the world is. Thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network. I hope y'all having a beautiful day. As you can see, I got more work to do. I always got work to do. But thank you for watching, and I hope this video helps you. And I hope this video inspires you to come back to the light, I guess. Thank you for watching. And as always, grow, grow, grow. Peace.